Hey guys, my name is Aubrey and I am going to be explaining my step function activity to you and what I got out of it. Okay, so before I go into it, I do want to tell you a part of this directions I did not understand. First off, it says this graph, which is called a step function, shows how the number of passengers on an Airport Express van changes over time. So, the number of Airport Express van passengers changes over time, how they change over time. And then it goes to say, this graph shows something else. This graph shows a trip between a city and the airport. What? I did not understand that part, but yeah. Alright, anyways, the questions I'm going to be answering is, note that the endpoints of the steps are either open or closed. The open circles are there to show where the step ends, but are not part of the graph. Why is this characteristic important in order for the graph to represent a function? And question A is asking, write a description of what is shown by this graph. I will be telling you. And B says, what does the long horizontal line segment on the graph represent? So, this long one right here. In this graph, I am going to be explaining what's happening with these few examples over here. I am not quite sure what is happening with the decreasing of these constant steps here. It's like it's going the opposite direction and comes back out. And I honestly got confused on this side, so I'm not gonna really explain this. Hopefully someone else can explain this part better than I can. But for the sake of this assignment, I am going to strictly answer these questions. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, question 1. Why is it important to know that the open circles are there to show where the steps end, but are not part of the graph? Why is that important? Why should you need to know that? Like, how does that partake in when making the function? How does that happen? Okay, so for my first example over here, this is side Y, which is the number of passenger, and side X, which is the time, minutes. There, for 2 passengers, it's going to take between 10 minutes and 20 minutes for them to get to their destination, but it's not going to take it's not going to take more than 30 minutes. I'm sorry. To show that in the function, I've put it in my Word. This is what it would look like. So, let's say it's like f of x, which is f of 2. Say f of x, which is f of 2, if 30 is less than or equal to x is less than 60, which is what's shown here. X is less than 60. The open circle means it's not actually on the graph. You don't count this. Once you get past 60, you automatically go up to the next number, the next highest number, which is 5. This would be shown with, let me do this with you, AX2. This would be shown f of 5 if, let's go back, if 30, which is what we left off on, if 60, if 30, oh no, I'm sorry, if 30 is less than or equal to x, then x is less than, and this is where we come to our open circle, because it's not actually on the graph, 60. And this here is supposed to be 10. Sorry about that. So, because it's supposed to be 10 because we are starting at 10. These are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 10. So go back to example 1 so I can re-explain that. F of x, f of 2, if 10 is less than or greater than x, x is less than 30. Now, see, we're correcting as we go. Okay? So, the correction of this example is f of x, such as f2, if 10 is less than or equal to x, then x is less than 30. As of when you go past 30, you go up the next number. Well, the next number that is marked in this function, which is f of 5. If 30 is less than or equal to x, x is going to be less than 60. As shown right here. Okay. This graph is basically showing you a gradual time increase between the number of passengers and the time it takes for them to, I'm guessing, get to the city. For the long horizontal line segment on a graph, there are 20 people, and it starts at 80. Yeah, so it looks like it starts at 80, so f of 20, if 80, pull my example back up, f20, if 80 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than, we're going to go where the circle is, 160. So yeah, it's basically the same thing, but this long horizontal graph, function is what I think representing the decrease, the start of the decreasing in the time, which I don't really know why the time is decreasing. It's like, to me, it's as if when time is getting longer, lesser people are writing, I guess. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So, hopefully you guys understood all that. Yeah. Bye.